the Twitch chat. I want to hear you loud and proud. Who you got in this one? Use those channel points. Let us know who you have on this Hardpoint Gava 2. An interesting starting map. I saw somebody else pointed out earlier, but yeah, it's kind of a unique one. You don't see Gava 2 as a starting map that often, but we're here on P1, and like I said, baby, it's Chumps week.
Yeah, it's definitely not one you see very often. It's a very rotation-oriented map. There's a lot of plays that need to happen. It'll be a little bit slower than your typical Bokash or Tuscan. A lot of people like to play those maps just to get the guns warm, but it doesn't matter as Monado is able to get a nice two-piece and Toronto's on the board first.
Yeah, Toronto going to get a nice break after Maui got a few points in there, but they were able to completely clean the slate as KMC has already positioned themselves up on top of that turret. That's going to be a problem. You got to get that AR off of there. It's going to be havoc when you're trying to rotate over towards P2, and you're starting to see it here early as Toronto have taken an early lead. They're going to start to look for the rotation here, but it looks like Maui is going to win that foot race.
Yeah, Maui Chums, right now they did get the initial foot race. Only one person left right now. That's going to be Silly Me. He's going to be doing as much as he can and just kind of hold down the point, wait for the rest of his team come to the point. He's unfortunately not going to be able to get those, but yep, Toronto with their first solid rotation. It's only it is early though, but 10-10 and ASUS, they're going to be looking to hold down this as much as they can.
And it looks like Toronto, although they're not getting a lot of the rotations, we've seen a lot of teams like this actually over the past few seasons where maybe the rotations are at their best interest, but you know what is really good to them is their gun skill. They seem to be breaking the point a lot easy without really much resistance. So, definitely a hot start here for Toronto, but Maui's got to do a much better job just kind of holding their own. If they're going to win the rotations, that's great. It seems like they're doing a good enough job in getting there. It's just about holding their own after the fact. That seems to be an issue to start off, and that's going to be trouble here on some of these bigger points.
Yeah, and look at exactly what happened there. KMC was holding to the top of the boat for as long as she possibly could, and as soon as she was taken out, there was at least some sort of break opportunity coming in from Maui Chums. Now, it was 10-10 that was able to hold it by itself, but when you get rid of those power positions, if you're Maui, that's when the breaks are going to start coming in. Unfortunately, Maui, they're doing a good job, holding on to those power positions as long as possible, which is making these breaks a little more tougher for Maui.
So Toronto is going to be set up for next, and they have spawns as well as now a full-on frontal assault coming in here on Maui as they push through P1. They're able to get a couple of kills, but still no maintaining of the point. Yeah, everyone just kind of waiting, trying to find these early picks. Kill switches up top. He's still going to find a couple here. Starting to fry up with that AR. Starting to really turn it on. He's going to have some help there from Silly Me. He's going to be able to find one, and unfortunately TK his teammate. But the point does go in favor of Maui Chums as they're going to hold on, but they still need to secure spawns right now.
Yeah, really the first break that they've had so far this game, and right now Toronto, they still have those spawns. They're still spawning that deep back. I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to retake it for now, but if you look at the position of Colton, he's in a really good spot right now, or at least he was. He was just holding on to that P1 area, just, killing anyone from Toronto that was pushing in from that backside. So good holds out of him, and look at this, Maui Chums, they have the rotation.
I definitely want to get another perspective of this real early here, so why don't we go to our analyst here and see what he's been seeing so far. Teej, talk to me.
Yeah, it's been a good start out of Toronto, and then Maui coming back, right? Like, they were down big. Toronto was getting a lot of the opening kills, but they've kind of sewed that up a little bit as Toronto does get back on time here. But Maui, got themselves back in it. It was a 70-point deficit at one point, and back into it now. So good stuff out of them to keep it close. Let's see if they can continue to do that.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, it's going to be Maui here. Going to have to try to bring it on back. Toronto has hit that sentry mark as they continue to hold on to this money hill. This is a big money hill. I mean, we've talked about it over and over again about how annoying this hill is. And look at that. As I say that, Maui getting the spawns off of very questionable play. And are able to retake this point with not enough time, though, to really just getting scraps at the end of it. I mean, keep an eye on kill switch. He's looking towards those streaks, but he's actually going to get taken out right as I say that because his caster's curse is 100% real. But, Maui's going to have to do a little bit better on these rotations. Looks like it's going to be Toronto Falters who are going to be holding on to the spawns for this next point, but they're not going to be in position to get any of the hill time quite yet as you see two flanking towards the back.
Yeah, Honey Hole just really went on that long flank, and honestly, Maui Chums might have control of the spawns here, depending on what happens here or towards bottom green. That is 3 dead for Toronto right now. Minato is really the last person on point. I don't really know much he can do as well.
Oh,
but wow, he's doing a really nice job holding on the point, and now all of a sudden, Toronto, I believe that was a play from ASUS, who pushed over to that spawn area, and now Toronto, they have the spawns back.
So back at D and continuing to increase that lead. I think Maui got within 20 of Toronto, but once again, Toronto with a pretty easy break after a couple of miracle plays on the inside there by Minato to really break on through and hold it down. So now We look back over towards P1. It looks like Maui are going to be there first. I'm noticing a lot of earlier rotations there out of Maui, but the trend still stands from what I said before. Getting there early, but losing when it absolutely matters.
Yeah, I mean, that was essentially as close to a full 60 as you can get out of Toronto Falters. I mean, Maui Chums, they're doing a really good job, getting on those early rotations, clawing their way slowly back into the game. But just that hill was kind of a money hill for Toronto, on a hill that normally can be a little bit scrappy. But either way, Maui Chums, they do have a decent setup right now for this P1, as Toronto is pushing with numbers, though.
Maui continuing to hold on for right now, trying to hit the century mark themselves, while Minato has other ideas. Going to go for the long flank around the outside. He's got the AR in hand, and I don't think Maui's even looking for him. This might be trouble if he gets on up there. It looks like he's going to find two, and he's going to just take kill switch and ring around the Rosie a little bit. He's going to hide on the inside, just completely bamboozling him on the inside, and he's going to get shot right in the back. KMC there with the help, so it's once again, Minato seems to be the MVP of this one, coming in with the big plays when it matters, coming in with the easy breaks, the first one in, and man, it's all Toronto right now.
Now, I do just want to point out one thing on that hill, though. I mean, the break from Minato did come in a little late. Maui's Chum still got a good 35, 40 seconds on that hill. I mean, that is still a win for them, clawing their way ever so slowly back into this game. And now they do have the rotation right now. And as I said, as you mentioned every single time, Caster's Curse is real right there. But yeah, I mean, it's Toronto. They need to, if they want to keep this deficit as high as they could, they need to start getting the breaks in a little bit faster.
A little bit faster indeed. I mean, it's a 70-point lead here for Toronto. They're looking into closeout mode here as the kill feed just continues to light up purple. Look at this, a rolling 5 here for Toronto. We continue to just completely destroy in the slaying department. I mean, look over on the KDs. You see 20 and 15, 15 and 10, 19 and 13, 15 and 12. All of them doing what they need to do, and then some just playing good fundamental COD. Maui can't seem to catch much of a break. Every single time they get a little bit of time, they get a whiff of it. They just get shoved right back into their face. It's just not the series you want if you're Maui to start this off.
Yeah, and even so, I mean, the rotation right now, it looks like they're actually going to win it, but the rotation still did come in a little late. Minato was really getting aggressive onto this next point, and there's really only one position, one person in position for Maui Chums. That was kill switch. He's finally taken out. But look, Toronto, they still have those close spawns, and they're taking full advantage of that. Look at the kill feed. It is all purple. This is looking really bad if you're Maui.
200 points here for Toronto. And something else we got to point out, too, because I've been noticing it as the hype train continues to roll on in. It's perfect timing for him to come here, but is it too little too late for Maui, who are down by over 100 at this point in time? But no, something we want to point out, we talked a little bit about how Maui's rotations, they were going early enough, they were getting in the right spot, but something that they always failed to do, they failed to get the spawns they needed to hold on to these points for a long time, which led to such big openings out of Toronto.
Yeah, really, the holds just did not last very long. Like, even some of the rotations, like, they're not necessarily struggling on rotation as much as you might think they are. Like, it's really just coming down to the fact that Toronto is breaking just about every single hold that they, just about every single rotation that Maui is getting. I mean, there was one really solid hold that Maui had just about this entire game. Now, this is a good start, though, if you're Maui, if you want any sort of chance to get back into this game. You did stop that initial push. But is it too little too late? It's a 100-point deficit. We'll see what happens.
And purple still hanging out on the left side of that kill feed and just not going anywhere. Toronto with another break. They have spawns. Maui in desperation mode, but it's just looking real grim. I don't know if they have a chance. It's going to be Honey Hole who's going to just try for a desperation contest. He's going to find one, not going to find two, though. And I think Maui at this point going to be too far out. Maybe one last try, but they're ultimately not going to get there as Toronto Falters are going to take your map 1.
And one thing I just want to mention in the pregame that KMC mentioned to me directly, I believe this was played in a previous interview, but KMC told me that whoever wins this first map is very likely to win the whole series. The wild card deck, please. I mean, look, I know it's risky at the very start, but don't think it's going to happen.
Nah, it looks like going to be just kind of a slow A push. Those guys took 2 steps and just stopped dead like they hit a guardrail. I'm not sure what they were doing there, looking for some initial angles. 10-10's going to be one with the bomb. He's going to be sitting up top barn. Just going to kind of wait and see what his team does first, see if they can kind of clear him out a little bit. I think there was some sight over there towards the river as we see kill switches. Just kind of waiting patiently. He's going to be the sole defender of that B bomb site, just in case. You never know when the rotation is going to happen.
Toronto's a little pinned here. They don't exactly seem to know to do. They don't really have any reads right now. The one read they might have is on kill switch over towards Willow. But even so, it seems like they're still looks like they're going to go ahead and rotate over to B. They probably know they have at least numbers.
But kill switch is not going to let that happen. The sole defender finding one. Going to try to find two here, but he's not going to be able to do so as KMC is able to take him out. So now a 2v2 situation as the bomb goes down. Honeyhole trying to play on that top part, but it's going to be 10-10 reading it. Going to grab that kill. Silly now on 1v2 for Maui. Has a lot of work to do, but has time. 30 seconds. Going to go in around the corner, but is going to get picked off. Toronto Falters. They're going to take round one here on the search and destroy.
Yeah, it was looking a little interesting from Toronto at the very start there. I thought for a little bit they were just kind of pinning the bar without any single read, but I think they were just waiting to see, if they could get any sort of guess on how many people were inside of bottom and top grandmas. I think they probably knew there was only one person at the B site at that point when he got exposed over towards Willow. So nice plays out of them to make that bomb rotation to B.
So now Maui's turn. You mentioned the importance of the attack rounds in Toronto. Definitely starting that trend. Grabbing their first attack round of the first round of the search. Now it's Maui's turn. Looks like they're going to go A, but they have Silly in a pretty interesting position, just basically by themselves in the middle of basically P2, and is going to be a little bit aggressive too. They're going to be looking for Aces over there. He's just going to kind of take his time. He's got some help. I think it's going to be Colton who's on top of that barn side. Going to try to make sure he doesn't get picked off too hard here, but nice slow start once again here on the search.
Ooh, Asus decided to reach out, and he got a little aggressive.
Okay.
Now that's a nice two-piece out of him. Now it's a 1v4 kill switch in the middle of the map.
Hey, listen, if
Can
you want a
you do it?
1v4, if you want a 1v4, it might as well be kill switch. Runs out of ammo. Oh, that was so unfortunate. Had him lined up, had the first couple of shots, but just ran out of bullets in the clip. So Toronto going to take that one right back. It's 2-0.
Yeah, nice plays. And really, this is exactly what we were talking about. They started out on offense. They got that early offensive round out of the way. They did it on defense as well. Nice plays out of them. It was really Asus that I thought was getting really aggressive there and making some nice plays. He immediately read that Silly was by himself over towards that P2 area and went in for the reach out. Got a nice two-piece.
Looks like a little more aggression here at Toronto. They're going to push up through barn. They're going to try to get control of that mid-map while Maui going to kind of wait up top and see if they can get any types of sights. So they all just kind of meet up at the line of scrimmage there right in the middle of the map and just kind of wait. But the play clock just continues to run. Honeyhole's going to find the first kill there on Minato. And kill switch there with a follow-up as well. So a good start here for Maui. You find two as Silly goes down as well. Now it looks like it's going to be a push onto A. It's going to be 10-10 with the bomb again. Who's going to just look to get this down. Honeyhole, though, is going to be in position to get a kill, but Asus is just going to grab that kill and even up the score. 10-10's got to get out of there, though. He's kind of in trouble and now finds himself alone. 1v2. Bomb down. And where'd he get shot from?
I didn't see it.
Wait, what?
I guess he maybe saw him in bottom stairs. I wasn't looking at the mini map there.
I did he shoot up through the floor? What happened? I was looking at the mini map. Where did he get shot from?
I didn't.
Hold on. Where's this? Oh, of course we don't get the. This game. This game.
Well,
this game.
either way. So the difference I saw that round was Toronto Falters. I mean, they got a little more aggressive early. They didn't, in my opinion, they probably didn't need to do that 100%. I mean, they got the bomb down. They got a little aggressive. They had the numbers for a little bit. But, I mean, what worked in the first round, they didn't really see a need for a change.
I mean, don't change what's broken. I mean, you're up 2 rounds for Toronto, right? I mean, you're just going to kind of stay put. And look at Asus right now. It's 6-2. I don't think you need to change much at the moment. I mean, I know you lost 1 round to Maui, but that's just going to happen. You're going to lose these rounds. It's just too mixy of a map to just, change up because of 1 round loss. And look at that. As I'm saying that, Toronto getting the first 2 bloods again. Bomb is dropped for Maui on the opposite side of the map. And now it's Colton in a 1v4 situation. Over towards B site. Has to rotate all the way around through 4 players who are lined up basically equally across that line. I don't think they know the bomb is there, but they're certainly going to know where Colton is in a second as they rotate back over towards B. Colton's going to get into the first gunfight, but is not going to be able to finish that one. I believe it was KMC, but Toronto continuing to dominate this search. It's 3-1.
Yep, and nice plays out of KMC and Toronto as a whole. They did a really good job just they really let Maui Chums come to them that entire round, and it worked really well. It was like Maui Chums, they were going on that long flank over towards that A site. But Toronto, I mean, they just had 3 people in bottom grandmas, which I think they got a perfect read. Nice plays out of them. They're looking good so far.
I guess so far, another attack round would definitely put Maui really on the edge of their seat. I mean, Maui's just running out of options at this point, and it comes down to what we talked about before. The slaying power of Toronto just continues to be the dominating factor. You look at the KDs, I don't think there's really much that has to be said. This KMC is going to find that first blood again, and it's going to be Toronto getting those first 2 again, and it's Colton again in a 1v3. Finds himself alone, sitting up on top of that A site, trying to find any sign of a purple guy running around here, but it's going to be over on the opposite side where the bomb will be going down over on that Bravo site. And Toronto's just going to set up and just wait.
Really have to wonder if Colton is just sick and tired of being in this situation. he's only got 1 kill, but that's not even entirely his fault. A lot of the situations he's been in, it's been 1v3s, 1v4s. I mean, I'm sure he knows there's at least one person at Willow. I think he spotted 10-10.
Go for the ninja. Just try it. He's going to look for KMC. He's going to actually find that kill. Going to look for 10-10. Knows it's there, but the flank from mid is going to ultimately do him in. So Toronto making this one 4-1. And I think we have to get another perspective on this one, because right now Toronto is just completely putting Maui in the dust at the moment. I mean, Ty, tell me what you got right now.
I think the offensively, both teams are a little bit stagnant in my opinion. But what's working for Toronto is they've been able to get the kills. They're again slaying out over Maui, and that's what's put them up 4-1. But yeah, both teams a little bit stagnant offensively. I'd like to see them push the pace just a little bit, and especially if you're Maui, because right now you're not able to outslay Toronto, so they need to do something to get back in this map.
Yeah, like we were saying, that it's a slaying that is the dominant power, and it continues. I mean, I think every first blood has gone to Toronto so far. I mean, I just don't think, I don't know. If you're Maui, man, I mean, these engagements are just not working for you, and I almost wonder, okay. I see things like that in this kill feed, and it just completely throws me off, because I thought we were past this, but apparently we're not. Kill switch, though. Saw that slide come in, so that's going to be an easy kill for him, and now it's going to be Asus in a 1v2, but it's not going to be enough as Maui are finally going to get back on the board and actually bring us to a swing round.
That will bring us to a swing round. If they can get this next round, that will be absolutely huge. I'm not entirely sure what the difference there was. I actually, going off to what Teach said, I thought Maui, they were still playing a little bit staggered, and the bomb carrier was kind of left into top barn all by himself. And when he was taken out, Maui had absolutely zero control of the bomb, but it just didn't matter as the kills fell in their favor. I mean, Kill Switch did get that lucky stun kill, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's still a kill. So Maui, they're clawing back in.
Calling back in, but they have a long road ahead of them. I mean, it was 4-1, remember, so now I still got some work to do. And again, the swing department definitely needs some work. I mean, you see Kill Switch currently just sitting at 7-4, trying to do what he can to get Maui to kind of rise up a little bit, rise up to the occasion, and try to bring down Toronto here. I think they understand that the bomb is going to be going down A, and this actually might be a good position here for Maui. They know where it is. They're kind of playing patiently, but look at this flank coming in out of Aces again, and Monato's going to come in with a follow-up, so now Maui just completely falling apart. Once again, it's going to be up to Kill Switch, and who else but Colton, who always just seems to be the last survivor. Again, if you're Maui, this is just not the look you want.
Man, and poor Colton, now all of a sudden he finds himself in a 1v4 to keep his team alive in this S&D. Oh, no, I apologize. I thought Toronto had 5 rounds, not 4. So, okay, Maui is still alive. I'll take the brain fart just for a minute. But either way, I mean, like I was saying, Colton, he's finding himself in these situations where he's the last one alive. I'm not entirely sure if it's just based on positioning where exactly he is, or if he's just like kind of in the back of the map, trying to read flanks or something. But man, poor guy. It's not even his fault. It's not anyone's fault at that point.
5-2 Toronto looking to take the 2-0 series lead with a round win right here. They're on defense. Maui gonna have to win 4 straight to try to take this map back. Now is going to get a sight, so they know that they're all over and slanted towards A, so this should be an easy adjustment here out of Toronto. But they are going to keep KMC over by B just in case. There's a lot of routes on this map that you can take to get on through, and how quick this map is and how small this map is. They don't want to take any chances. Asus, though, is going to try to shoot through the door, try to find someone over on the A site. But all he did was just reveal his position as he kind of waits for some backup. But he's going to get it as KMC is going to rotate back over towards mid. He's going to find 2. Going to try to find 3. But Monato's going to get taken out. 3v2 situation here for Toronto.
One thing I want to point out about Aces shooting through that door, I believe that may have been a potential bait and switch. As soon as he started shooting, Silly Me decided to start getting aggressive. KMC was right behind Aces, and as a result, he was taken out. And Toronto Falters, they take the SMD. They're up 2-0 in the series. They're looking to sweep in the finals.
I mean, this is just domination. I mean, this is the reason why Toronto's in Chumps. This is exactly why. I'm not trying to pour salt in the wound, but
it was LA Dweebs versus Paris Letdowns in the Gold Premade Finals.
So, hey, weirder things have happened on this stream. Trust me, me and Brandy have been here for the whole lot of them at this point. It's going to be Maui getting onto this point first. Going to try to get these initial kills. So it's just going to be a bit of a trade fest here. As it was Maui who started on the P3 side, so they were able to get here first. But Toronto, once again, showing early here how good they were just breaking through the points. But luckily, Maui is starting to keep them at bay just a little bit for right now. But once KMC gets back up, this might be trouble.
Yeah, there's multiple players right behind KMC right now. That's Asus and Minato just right behind her, making that aggressive push onto this P1 point. Even though Maui, they did get the initial points. I mean, that's still a really nice push. It's still a really nice push out of Toronto, and Minato, he's going to try to get 2 people off this rotation here. Both of them tagged up on the street as Aces comes in for support now.
It's going to be Toronto once again for the second hard point map in a row. Are going to take the lead out to that first point. I mean, but it's not by much. It's still just by a few points. So really nothing to note of yet, but I guess note how aggressive Toronto has already been. So keeping the same aggressive playstyle that they had in that previous map. And if you're Maui, man, I mean, unfortunately, I think it's just going to come time where you got to kind of get into it with them. I mean, letting these points go are really going to be the things that are going to bug you later when you're trying to change up your strat toward the end of the map. It's a good break so far here for Maui, but now it's just going to be about holding it on.
Yeah, and that's, I think, the first really solid break that Maui has had just about all night. I mean, they didn't win that rotation battle, but they still they got the break when it mattered. I mean, they only got about maybe 10-15 seconds on that hill before Toronto was able to get in and get it scrappy. But Maui Chums, they should have the last of these scraps, but they have to go ahead and start thinking about rotation. And right now, I mean, there's only one person in position for this rotation. That's Honey. And I don't know if there's much he's going to be able to do.
Toronto once again getting on the early rotation, just kind of completely obliterating what Maui was doing in Gavitu when they were rotating a lot earlier and getting there on time. So now, if you're Maui, you know you're in some trouble here. If Toronto's getting these rotations, they're continuing to win the gunfights that they need to win. I mean, it's not a good start. I mean, Silly's got some streaks. That's going to be good here for some of the outer points. And as we found out, that that hut over there, that bomb site, is not impervious to glide bombs. So it could be
analyst chiming in.
I had to let the analyst know that I was thinking about him.
Oh, man.
That specific spot. But hey, look, good break here out of Maui. But the rotation probably going to come in again as you start to see Toronto start to peel off a little bit. Or no, actually going to be Maui going to be pushing back. Toronto spawning a little too far out. So they're going to get the scrap time and regain the lead once again. But now they're going to have to break on through here for P4.
Yeah, this is actually a really solid positioning right now for Maui Chums. I mean, this hill can be difficult to break, especially when you have somebody on the backside. Honey Hole doing a good job getting that backside kill onto KMC. So this will be a tough break. It looks like Toronto, they're still getting a little aggressive, though, as they so need, because that's exactly what's been working for them. As Maui, they have been struggling a little bit in these 1v1s.
Well, right here, this is the best I've seen Maui on a point so far. They rotated early, they got there, and they also stopped the initial push out of Toronto. It usually caused them a lot of trouble, and you're actually seeing a light up of blue on the kill feed, so this is as best they've seen them. But the spawns for Toronto, they're spawning in that alley, so they're just going to be right back into this as soon as Maui tries to get rid of them, holding off for now, but now the push for spawns continues. It's going to be up to Kill Switch in the back to not go down, and of course, as I say that, I basically just put him in the grave myself at that point. But it is going to be Toronto who are going to maintain that scrap time. Only for a little bit, though. Honey Hole finds 2. And it's going to hop in. So now it's going to be up to Toronto to try to rotate and get some points back. Maui has taken the lead.
All right, Honey Hole has all of a sudden woken up. He rotated all the way from that back warehouse to the point and decided to get the scraps himself. So nice plays out of him. And it's Maui Chums. They've got the early lead. I mean, it's still early, a lot of hard point left to play, but this is exactly how they needed to respond after 2 tough losses, and they're doing exactly what they need to do. Toronto, I mean, they have possession of the hill right now, though, so they could be looking to tie it up here.
Speaking of our silent report, let's go to him for a quick second. Ty, I got to ask, I mean, so we saw a nice, strong hard point there on that P4 there for Maui. Do we think that's going to be a one-hit wonder for them, or do we think they're finally starting to realize what they need to do to take this game home?
Well, they did exactly what they needed to do. They had somebody defending the flank, which allowed them to keep spawns for so long. They were able to keep spawns for almost that whole point, and you see what happened. I mean, they got majority of it. So if they can continue to do that, and you can see as well, like, they are, you know, they're staying in contention slaying-wise, so they're definitely not out of it. I've liked what I've seen so far. You know, but here we are halfway through the game here, or excuse me, through P5 here, and it's tied up. So anything can happen, but I like what I've seen out of Maui, and Toronto also continuing to do good things on their side.
Yeah, I definitely, I'm with Ty here. I definitely think Maui is starting to figure it out. I mean, they're starting to regain the lead once again. They're getting the rotations, and the kill feed lately, Brendy, hasn't been in Toronto's favor at all.
It really hasn't, but one thing I want to point out on this hill right now that I've noticed right now is Maui, they're kind of leaving the flank a little exposed. Silly me was able just to get a lucky spawn, but even so, look exactly, because of Maui getting a little aggressive, Toronto all of a sudden, they're spawning in this back street area. They catch Maui a little off guard, and certainly caught Kill Switch off guard. Because Maui, I mean, they're going to get a good 20 seconds of the scrap time, because, I mean, they got a little unnecessarily aggressive, in my opinion.
They got aggressive. They're just trying to, I think there's just a little out of sorts at the moment. I think they just kind of got thrown off guard a little bit. Maui taking the lead right back. Toronto pushing a little later than usual, but at the same time, they are rotated, so they are on next. Maui kind of in a staggered position. Look at number 8. That's Honey Hole for Maui on the complete opposite side, but Colton has something to say. He's going to try to drop on in and grab a couple, but can't quite do so. But still, he's going to be there for the follow-up. He's going to get a nice first shot on Asus, but Asus just going to have the better beams and take them down. So now Toronto's starting to finally swing the pendulum back their direction. They're going to get this point and try to take the lead again right here.
Yeah, and going off to exactly what you said, Maui Chums during this P2, I mean, they were looking really staggered. You had one person over towards the back docks area. You had one person over towards train. I mean, it wasn't looking good for them. They really had only 2 people pushing the point. As soon as they get taken out, there's no one in Maui in possession to make this aggressive push, and as a result, Toronto Falters, they've regained the lead.
Regained the lead and have regained their composure. I mean, the kill feed is just sliding on purple once again. We've seen this movie before. Maui Chums are going to be rotated, though, over towards P3, but it's going to be up to them to try to hold on as we see KMC with the long flank around. Should be able to flip these spawns depending on how the kills go, but no, it's going to be Maui continuing to defend. So the spawns do go in favor of Toronto, but Maui still maintaining the point, and Colton realizes they're trying to get a kill there, but it's going to be all for naught as KMC was ready for that one. So a quick break, and I think Maui kind of jumped the gun on that one. They didn't really need to be jumping out and try to break on through. They could have just waited inside, let Toronto come to them. They definitely had the position, even though they lost the spawns there.
Yeah, Maui, they had the spawns, they had the perfect positioning, but Toronto, they were still able to get in through fire and through patio. I'm not entirely sure. Really, just it was a combination of aggressive and maybe a little bit of a misplay from Maui Chums. Because all of a sudden, I mean, with 20 seconds left, I mean, they just have to go ahead and chalk with a really solid retake out of Toronto. And now this is it's starting to become a worrisome deficit if you're Maui.
I believe this is a 90-10 run for Toronto, is what I think we're at this point, because I thought it was like 140 to 110 at one point. Maybe I'm wrong. I have to go back and look at the score, but it's certainly been all Toronto for the past couple of points. It looks like they're just not going to stop anytime soon. Like, if you're Maui now, it's do or die. I mean, do you want to bring this game back, or are you just too far gone at this point? This point's really going to be the time to tell.
Yeah, but Maui, they still do have control of the spawns, at least for the time being. With Toronto, they're kind of pinned into this bottom bank area, so this is a chance for Maui to start clawing back into this as well. They're still holding back to these warehouse spawns, but there's been about 20-25 seconds of wasted time where neither team has got time on this hill. So, and really, if you're Toronto, you just go ahead and chalk this hill. I mean, you don't really need it at this point.
So now we get to P5, and this is going to be an interesting hill for Maui to try to play against. They can't let Toronto get much of this point because it's going to be all about who's going to get that setup on P1 after. So you have to work on the contest, and you got to make sure that you're ready to move when you need to. You might need to go pretty early, too. So Maui is going to be in a really tough position, and it's going to be even tougher when KMC is going to be a thorn in your literal side by just shooting you on the opposite end there. He's just going to kind of hold down this, or she's going to hold down this train station side here. No one really grabbing the point, though, so Toronto not making the most of this at the moment, as it looks like Maui are just getting control of the building, finally hopping on point and getting some time. But keep an eye on the rotations. P1 is going to be where this game ends.
But that was still a decent amount of time that Maui did get. I mean, a decent amount of it was contested, but they did at least assure that Toronto cannot win off this hill. This hill can be a little bit scrappy, but look at the positioning right now for Maui Chums. There is nobody in position to even make any sort of contest or aggression into this hill. I mean, even though Toronto can't win, they can get very close. It'll be about a 15-point game if Toronto will hold the rest of this.
But look at P1. Look who is all set up. Maui doing what they need to do. Toronto is close. They're at 2:35. They just need 15 seconds. But Maui doing the right thing. Give up the scrap. Get the setup. They knew Toronto would have just completely clinched it if they just let them have it. But they are not going to let them have it for free. And if Maui holds strong here, this could be a big, big, big hold. So once again, this is going to be another point for Maui where they're going to have to fight this one out. But keep an eye on rotations. It's going to be huge. They've hit the 200 mark here, Brendy.
They have hit the 200 mark. I want to see exactly what KMC can do here, and the answer is not much. As the read actually comes in from Silly Me, and Honey Hill gets a nice two-piece onto Patio. There's one more player. It's Asus, and of course Asus is going to get that kill. As Toronto, all of a sudden, they have numbers onto this hill. Here comes Toronto. It's a 3-on-1. Silly Me gets taken out, and all of a sudden, Toronto has possession of the hill.
And they were too staggered. Maui is all spread apart. They tried to get the rotation, the quick jump onto P2, but that might have screwed them over. They are now spawning way out. They have one more hit at this. They have to contest, but no one is even remotely near P2, and I think that's going to do it. The Toronto Falters are your Silver Premade Chumps.
Oh, man. Again, going off to what you said exactly, Maui Chums. Toronto, they were getting the kills in very interesting ways. They were getting one kill and then like about another kill 3-4 seconds later without